Hello there. Welcome to the Rigger Gambling Show. I'm your host, Tate Frazier, and joining me as he always does, typically on a different feed because this is a brand new feed, but regardless, same show, same fun, same good times, and of course, the same cousin Sal. Sal, good to see you, man. How are you?
The same cousin Sal. What's happening, buddy? Good to be with you. I'm excited. How many people are watching us right now?
I mean, got to be at least tens of
Okay.
people that
All
are
right.
locked in
Let's
right
get to the
now.
dozens, and then we make that thousands and thousands,
Right.
and then we spin off and we go to Apple TV or something. I don't know what we do. This is very exciting.
I'm very excited to be here on YouTube. We're going to be live, and we are live right now. This is not live to tape. This is not
No.
recorded the day before. This is happening in real time. So we're happy to be here. We're happy to talk about all the handicapping that is out there in the world. And today, specifically, Sal, we're going to focus on a pastime that you and I both enjoy very much. I see your Oregon hat. You got your son, Archie, up there with the Ducks. But you and I, we both love college football. And we got week one. We already got a little taste, got a little appetizer of college football. Week zero, a lot of chaos, a lot of fumbles, a lot of ridiculous moments. We even had a former waiter hit a game-winning kick against Stanford, in case you missed. A lot of good stuff. But we're going to focus on college football today. How's that sound, Sal?
I love it. As you said, my son goes to Oregon. He's halfway through, and I'm hoping to get a hat that fits me within his last couple of years there. But yes, that game, I thought that was a garbage game in Dublin. I got to be honest. Iowa State, Kansas State, both teams seemed drunk. Pounding Guinness maybe before the game. The second half was fun. We were already had like a controversial ending in terms of betting. The over missed by 4 inches. Was his forearm down? I guess it was. And now we have to pretend Rocco Becht is good. And here we go. Let's do it.
Yeah, we also had like a family fight afterwards. You mentioned all the beers flowing. Yeah. Avery Johnson, the quarterback for Kansas State, had a brother-father beatdown. Very Irish of them. They kind of lived up to the hype there. So
they should make that a tradition, by the way. I don't think it should stop this year.
Loser's family has to fight. I think that's a good rule. We'll put that down for next year. Yes, exactly. For everybody to see. And then you put out a statement afterwards and everyone says, okay, we're good there. Week zero, a lot of chaos, a lot of good times. That's why we love college football. But this week one, Sal, is jam-packed. Some people are saying it's the best week one they've ever seen as far as college football is concerned. 2004 was a time where we saw 3 top 10 matchups. That's what we have this week as well. Yeah. And let's start with some line look-aheads. We got the number one game on the docket, big noon kickoff. We also got college game day there as well. Lee Corso, this will be his last game. Let's just start there before we get to the line, Sal. You've seen a lot of Lee Corso putting mascots on his head. The first time he did it was Brutus the Buckeye back in 1996. How much are you going to miss seeing Lee Corso say not so fast and have his big dramatic moments on college game day?
Like a 2.5. No. He's fine. I think he's great. He's great for what he's done in the college pregame. And he actually would have kept going like another 7 or 8 years, but he developed a crazy rash from the Wisconsin Badger hat there. So he had to stop. His doctor said no more. He'll wear the Buckeye thing, right? He started with Buckeyes. He has to wear it, right? That's how it has to end for him, right?
Well, let's start there. The line look ahead, Lee Corso, you a little teaser there. You think he's going to take the Buckeyes, but this is a fascinating game. We got the number one team in the country, Texas, obviously led by Arch Manning. They're going up to Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State in this game favored -2.5. The line is 47.5. As far as what you're looking for and what you like in this one, what do you see, Sal?
It's a great one. I read this morning that Bill Simmons is banned from this game. Did I read that right? I don't know.
Something like that.
It just quickly flashed up. I take people saying this is a national championship going to be decided in the 4th week of August. Is this the rest of the season a wash because of this? But I don't know. I'm going to take a teaser here. I advise against teasers in general. But I'm going to take this all the way up to Texas plus 8.5. I get to add 6 points and taking the under 53.5. I think this could be a 17-13 type game late in the 3rd, early 4th. Arch, I figure, eventually gets it done. He's got that Anthony Hill Jr. on the other side. Everyone's bragging about 8 sacks, 16.5 tackles for loss last year. I think they pull off the upset in Columbus, get it done on defense. I'm going to say Texas and the under on a teaser.
Yeah, I like that call. I think this game is fascinating because of precedent, Sal. The last time that we saw a quarterback starting his first game against the number one team in the country actually get a win was 1984, and that quarterback was Michigan's very own Jim Harbaugh. So
Harbaugh,
Julian
wow.
Sayin, he's trying to make history here for Ohio State, of course, starting his first game against the number one team in the country. The past 18 times that has happened, they have been winless. So there is a bit of precedent, like I said there, that this is probably not going to be a good day for Julian Sayin, but there's a lot of people in Buckeyes country that thinks the defense, the run game, the electrifying wide receiver core that they have will be enough to win this game. I'm going to go with precedent, though. I'm going to go with the Longhorns. I'm going to take Texas money line plus 102. This just feels like the perfect game. The Mannings have scripted this out for Arch to get out there, win on the road, win at the Big Ten. It's a feather in the cap for the SEC. And I do think that Texas is just more talented, maybe a little bit of a national championship hangover for the Buckeyes. And just like that, Ryan Day goes from top of the mountain to back on the hot seat after this one, Sal.
Yeah, I was trying to think because there's a lot of debate over who's in a tougher spot here, Julian Sayin or Arch Manning, right? Do you want to be Arch Manning? Doesn't have a ton of starts under his belt either, by the way. Going to Columbus, nationally ranked, obviously. Is that a tougher spot than what Sayin's doing against the preseason ranked number one? It's tough.
I think that Sayin's kind of playing with house money a little bit. Obviously, there's a short lease when it comes to being the quarterback at Ohio State, but I think for his sake, they'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And if they do lose this game again, you're playing the number one team in the country. It is fascinating. Texas obviously not being favored as the number one team in the country, but again, playing on the road in Columbus, it's going to be a great game. And again, if you're on the West Coast, that's a beautiful Saturday morning, Sal. We wake up, we
really
make some
nice
coffee, get some donuts, get some breakfast, and watch some great football. So I'm ready to do that.
It's not as beautiful for me because my friend Brad is staying with us. We get custody of him every Labor Day weekend. So it's really chaotic, but we'll go into that another time.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Now I know I should not go to your house this weekend because Brad will murder me. Yeah. He will definitely not be happy to see me. Let's move on to the next line. Look ahead. We got Alabama at Florida State. Florida State plus 13.5 in this game. The line is 50.5 overall. Tommy Castellanos, yes, that's the quarterback from Boston College who beat Florida State last year and basically cemented the fact that their season was completely lost. He is now the starting quarterback for Florida State. He said in the offseason, Sal, Nick Saban cannot save Alabama. Do you believe in Tommy? Do you believe in the Seminoles? And what do you see in this game?
I believe in Tommy to keep this close. I'm going to hit the over, though, 50.5. That's my official bet. He's got some transfer wide receivers Castellanos does that can make some noise, including Squirrel White. What a great name. We'll get to another great name coming up. But Squirrel White is now on that Seminole team. FSU's got that aggressive 3-3-5 defensive scheme. So I think they're going to take a few unnecessary chances early. And Bama and Ty Simpson take advantage in Ty Simpson's first start. 33-24. I'll say Bama wins, but Seminoles play tough and cover. I mean, it can't be worse than that start last year.
It can't be worse than what we saw week 0 last year in Ireland. Yeah, they lost on a game-winning field goal for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, in case you forgot that. And again, sent that whole team spiraling after a great season the year before. So we'll see if FSU can bounce back. I like the points there as well. Just 13.5 just seems like a lot, especially for Ty Simpson. This is a guy who got the job based on quote-unquote loyalty, Sal. I'm a little concerned about that. I do think that Ty Simpson is a guy, more of a game manager type, it seems. We love those, kind of tags that you put on these quarterbacks. I just think that FSU does have some talent. I think Castellanos has a little bit of a Russell Wilson kind of magic quality to his game. He's a shorter guy, but he does make things happen like we saw last year when he won against Florida State. So I think that FSU hangs around and they cover this one plus 13.5 as well. Let's go to the battle for Death Valley. This is a fun one. Line look ahead. LSU at Clemson. Clemson minus 3.5 in this one. The line over-under is 57.5. Again, two Tigers, two Death Valleys, ACC versus SEC. It's obviously a big showdown. Who do you like in this one, Sal?
Fun one. Like you said, the Tigers are battling perfect storm. Clemson at home versus LSU and Brian Kelly, who never wins his first game. He's kind of like the Bengals, right? And they are Tigers for that matter, of college football, right? Brian Kelly just can't get out of the gates. Cade Klubnik should shine in this game for Clemson. He's got a stacked offensive line. Nussmeier and LSU probably need it more. I would just think the way it's going to be stacked for LSU and the SEC the rest of the way in Clemson's schedule, I think LSU cannot afford the L, but they're going to get it. Clemson's going to be proved to be too much for them in Death Valley. 30-22 final score.
Yeah, and according to Todd McShay, Clemson has 3 of the top 6 projected picks in the NFL draft. A lot of talent on that team on both sides of the football. Cade Klubnik, the quarterback for Clemson, now listed by most as the projected #1 pick. Garrett Nussmeier just got the number 18, which if you're in the know with LSU, that means he's the captain of the team, and they do not give that out very lightly, especially to the quarterback. So these are all things, encouraging signs on both sides of the ball. I'm going to go with LSU in this one. After Brian Kelly slammed the table last year after losing to USC and said he was done with this, to me, that felt like this is the turning point. They've lost 6 straight years. The last time they won their opener was back in 2019 against Georgia Southern. Ever since then, they've played UCLA. I was at that game out here in Los Angeles. They lost that one. They lost back-to-back years to Florida State. Mississippi State was thrown in there as well. Yep. Obviously, last year against USC. So I feel like LSU has to get back on track on this one, and if they don't, Brian Kelly, the seat will get turned up, and it will get hotter and hotter. So I'm going to take LSU money line in this one, plus 138. I think there's some value there, Sal, so I'll go with the Tigers.
What do you think of Dabo? Typically stays away from that transfer portal, right? Hates it, okay, never delve in. He gets 3 from the transfer portal. What does that do? Shouldn't he have kept the legacy going? Like, I did it without the transfer portal my whole career. As ridiculous as that sounds, does 3 players do anything?
No, it's one of those things where Shaka Smart is doing this at Marquette in basketball, right? He's kind of holding down, hey, we develop our guys don't leave. That's sort of the mantra of the program. And I think you're right. When you have that kind of, you've kind of stamped who you are as a program in the portal, that's always a good thing. But again, look, Clemson wants the talent. Dabo probably got a call from the boosters, and they said, hey, you better go get the best players. And, right. You listen to the guys with the money. That's how this goes in college football, which is hilarious.
I'm going to write that down. Yeah, you got to listen to the guys with the money.
Yeah, you got to write that down. Let's do our last line to look at. This is Friday Night Lights, and we're not talking high school football, even though that would be fun. We got Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets, going to Colorado. The Buffaloes in this game plus 4.5, and the over/under 52.5. Do you like Coach Prime in this one, Sal? What do you see?
No, I don't. Nothing against Coach Prime, although I've gone against them in the past and been successful and I've failed on all different levels. But I'm going to take Georgia Tech. I like the Yellow Jackets this year. I think they're in the ACC championship game, as a matter of fact, and I have them beating Clemson in 3 weeks. They took down Miami and FSU, like we talked about last year, right? Everyone beat FSU, but Miami was a good win. They took Georgia to 8 overtimes before finally losing that. They're a good team. They get quarterback Haynes King back and Jamal Haynes, the running back. They combined for 20 rushing touchdowns, those two, in 2024. They were number 2 in rushing in the ACC. I think they're going to have their way on the road against Coach Prime's defense, who I really can't trust until I see it. I'll say 27-16.
Especially, yeah, the Yellow Jackets especially, they have 4 options really on every play. So you have to be very disciplined in your gaps, very disciplined with your eye line with the ball. And I just feel like, maybe Colorado isn't one of those teams that has that sort of discipline. So I feel like the toughness of Haynes King, this is going to be a Georgia Tech night, I believe. So I'm going to take the Yellow Jackets as well. Minus 188 is the money line. I will say this, Coach Prime and Blenders, the eyewear, they sent me a nice package with the sunglasses, Sal. So I'm a little bit swayed.
Where are they? Put them on.
I don't know where they're upstairs. I got to go get them. I'll wear them on the next show. I'll make sure that we're locked in.
Put that, and I want to see that. Win. Carolina doll, that porcelain doll I bought you too. I've not seen that yet. You got all these pictures and everything else in the back here.
Yeah, my mom and dad have that at the house down in the basement.
They do?
And it's probably conjuring up spells after them as we speak.
What was it? It was a cheerleader, right? It was like a 7-year-old cheerleader, but a doll. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a doll. And my mom is convinced that it's a collector's item and that it's worth thousands and thousands of dollars, just like us with our thousands and thousands of viewers right now.
Right, the money. Trust the money. What did you say? Follow the money.
Follow the money. Listen to the money. You know what it is. Let's track to the futures. We've done our line look ahead. So we got some fun futures here. The first one, Sal, SEC winner. If you go to FanDuel, you can find these futures and make a bet. Who do you like to win the SEC this year?
I'm going to go Georgia plus 300 here. I know Texas is slightly favored over them. Kirby Smart only returning 7 starters, but at this early stage in the year, you have to trust the guys who know how to recruit well, right? So Georgia's going to have these cupcakes in the beginning. they're going to get on the same page as far as offensive lines gelling and everything. They got the sophomore running back, Nate Frazier, Tate.
My
Nate
guy.
Frazier,
I
number
got to
2
get
in
the
the
jersey.
24 recruit. You got to get it.
I need a
We're gonna
Tate
do it.
jersey for Ohio State, and I need a Nate Frazier Georgia jersey. Those are the
I
two
love
things
it.
on my docket. Yep. Got to
He
get
had
them.
7 touchdowns in his last 7 games in 2024. Bulldogs have 3 SEC road games. I like their schedule: Tennessee, Auburn, Mississippi State. They play Texas and Alabama at home. That's kind of big. And they feast on the bottom half of the SEC. They have Kentucky and, like I said, Mississippi State there. So, and also that Georgia Tech game is in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so they'll have the fans there. Listen, the defense should be loaded before getting pilfered by the Philadelphia Eagles in the draft next year. I'm going to take Georgia plus 300 to win the SEC.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to ride with the Bulldogs as well. And it is about the schedule. I also think that last year there was a lot of animosity, it sounds like, in that locker room with Carson Beck, and the offense was kind of split on both sides. So I just think that there's maybe like some camaraderie with that group a little bit now, especially on the offensive side of the football. And I do think Kirby Smart has been snake bitten by Alabama in the past. Just look at their history. I think they're past that. I think the Nick Saban kind of ghost that was looming over that program is far enough removed now, so Kirby Smart can win that game at home. I think that Texas game, we saw what they did to Texas last year.
Yeah.
I think they can handle business as well. And Arch Manning, there was, a lot of reports that the Mannings wanted him to go to Georgia originally, so maybe there's some, something there, something in the water, so Georgia can get a win at home. So I like them at plus 300. Think there's some value. And like you said, when they play in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it just is a Georgia takeover. I went to the Carolina-Georgia game back in 2016. You couldn't find Carolina blue anywhere, Sal. So it was all red. It was a lot of men barking at you, women barking at you, children barking at you. That's Georgia football. They're hunkering down.
If you would have brought that porcelain cheerleader doll, you would have found some Carolina blue there.
I didn't have it yet.
That's right. You didn't have it. Hey, what do you think of next year? This conference is moving to nine SEC games, right? 8 or 9? They're 8
bullying
now?
works. Shout out to the Big Ten. They bullied them into 9 conference games. There was a lot of people upset at the fact that, in the middle of November, you see a random, hey, Georgia Southern's playing Georgia or whatever it may be. So now they're going to add that one game just to make sure that there is no talking points for the Big Ten. There's a lot of propaganda going on, Sal, between those 2 conferences.
Yeah, but I kind of go for it because now there's like 16, 17, 18 teams in a conference. And if you're not playing, we got some big games we're missing out on because there are just too many teams, to match up against. So I sort of like it.
Yeah, and if you look at the schedules, like, for example, Penn State and Ohio State, I think they have one overlapping, game between the 2 of them, and they're both playing in the Big Ten. So it's very confusing. Your scheduling really matters. Speaking of the Big Ten, let's track to the future here. Big Ten winner, Sal, is it the Ducks? Who do you like this year?
I gotta go, Mike. I gotta take the homer pick or the tuition pick, whatever you're gonna call it. Like I said, Archie Jr. at Eugene. I get plus 460.
Follow the money, Sal.
Follow the money. You got Dante Moore. They're trusted in Dante Moore, the kid from UCLA. He learned from Nix and Gabriel. Probably not as good, but he's backed by a top 5 recruiting class and a top 5 transfer class. Dan Lanning just doesn't really let his team fail, right? And we talked about that schedule. No Michigan or Ohio State on the schedule for Oregon. So that helps. So they do go to Happy Valley they go to Penn State at the end of September. I'm guessing they'll lose that game, and then they'll have the rematch in the Big Ten championship, plus 460. If they get there, that could be a pretty nice hedge.
Yeah, I like that call. I do feel like Penn State obviously is getting the push from speaking of the propaganda, the Big Ten propaganda is saying it's Penn State's year. This is the year they kind of take control of this conference. But I'm going to go with old reliable here. I'm going to take Ohio State. I'm going to take the Buckeyes. Obviously, a lot of talent. This is wide receiver U, in case you missed it. And if you can get them at plus money, Ohio State plus 195. I think, like I said, they're going to lose to Texas in that first game. That's going to galvanize that group. It does feel like Ryan Day is almost better when his back is against the wall. So I think they go to 0-1, and then they move from there and go through the Big Ten, and they dominate. So I like Ohio State and the Buckeyes, plus 195 to win the Big Ten. Let's go to the Big 12, Sal. Track to the future. This is a fun one because there's a lot of teams in the Big 12 that can win. Kansas State was the favorite. Obviously, they lose week 0 over in Ireland against Iowa State. That does not help their case to win the Big 12. So who do you like now, Sal, looking at the odds?
So odds-wise, this conference is it's mystifying because you'll have other conferences where the over-under for wins for Mississippi State is 3.5, but then on the other end it's 10.5 for Texas. This one, teams are either in the range of 5.5 to 8.5. There's a 3-game spread between all 16 teams. I worry that we saw the cream of the crop on Saturday. I didn't really like either of those teams, Kansas State or Iowa State, but I'm going to take Utah at plus 650. They had everything go wrong for them last year. They're coming off their first losing year in over a decade. I think 2013 was the last time they had a losing record. They have a new OC. They have a new quarterback, Devin Dampier. They had a lot of bad luck, like I said, by all metrics. According to ESPN stats, they ranked 121st nationally for turnovers, for close game fortune. They were 1-5. They're 99th for lineup stability. They had injuries. But, I like Herm Winningham. He's going to get it done. He's solid. Also, they don't have to worry about a 39-year-old Cam Rising is going to play or not every week. They play Kansas State and Arizona State at home. Give me that team. Give me Utah. The Utes plus 650.
I like that pick. And also, their quarterback who you mentioned, it might end up being a guy that could be a dark horse Heisman contender if all things break their way for the Utes. So I like that pick at plus 650. I'm going to go with what I've seen so far. I like Matt Campbell. I think he's a really good coach. So I'm going to go with Iowa State plus 750. Rocco Beck. He's not the prettiest player to watch, but he does kind of get the job done. Has a little bit of a Purdy trait to him, the fact that he's just able to find a way to get a win. And in that game, the run game was not there, and Rocco Beck kept making plays. And then late in that game, Iowa State's run game finally was able to get a push and get things over the edge. And Matt Campbell, talk about the guts to go for it down the stretch and seal that game. Doesn't put the ball in Kansas State's hands and lets them decide the outcome. He decides and dictates the fate of that team. So really like the call, really like the coach. Really like the quarterback. That's enough for me to say Iowa State plus 750. So I got
Who is the prettiest player? You said he's not the prettiest player.
I think the prettiest player is Big Citrus, who's on the defensive side of the ball. Best nickname in football, Big Citrus. And I do think if I'm the Orange Bowl or the Citrus Bowl, I'm working behind the scenes to make sure I get Iowa State in my bowl. So hopefully they can figure that out. Let's do a fun one, Sal. Track to the future here. Heisman winner. A lot of people obviously love the Arch Manning hype train. Hype is a big part of the Heisman. Who do you like to win the Heisman this year?
Well, it's nice to say Arch Manning this, Arch Manning that, but he is favored. And the last favorite to win, 2005, Tate.
Wow.
You know
Reggie
who it
Bush.
is?
Yeah.
Matt Leinart. Matt Leinart was the last favorite. Yeah, it's okay.
Reggie was
it's
2006, I guess, right?
You're right there. Yeah. Maybe I'm off a year or two. But Matt Leinart, I think it was 20 years ago. But 4 of the last 5 quarterbacks who won were from the SEC. But I'm not going to go with Arch for the reasons above. The favorite doesn't win. I like Nussmeier. I like Ty Simpson for Alabama. I'm going to settle on DJ Lagway, though, for Florida. Plus 2,500. 6-0 as a starter last year for the Gators, Tate. He can come up big this year. They're home for Texas October 4th. Maybe we could see a change at the top of the odds board after that.
Yeah, I like that number plus 2,500. Lagway has an injury. He was in a boot, but there's also been some boots on the ground reporting saying that it's all very just precautionary and they expect him to be ready to go. So I like Lagway at plus 2,500. I think that's great value. And I think that Billy Napier did a really good job last year closing out that season for the Gators. I'm going to go with the guy coming from Wazoo. I'm a big Wazoo football guy. My girlfriend, obviously, a Wazoo fan, so I watch all these games. So I watched a lot of John Mateer last year and a lot of Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator there, Sal, back when he had Cam Ward. And then last year with John Mateer, he has some interesting wrinkles. He does a lot of post-snap kind of confusing things that throws defenses off. I really like how he runs his offense. The missing part of Oklahoma last year was that offense. I think Venables can handle the defense. I think that Arbuckle will be great handling the offense, and I think that's going to lead John Mateer to a big season. They're calling him Moneyline Mateer. There was a little bit of a scandal that kind of has been brushed under the rug. But yeah, plus 2,500. I think that's a good future for John Mateer.
I like that too.
Good value.
He does have interesting wrinkles. Lee Corso has interesting wrinkles too, which is why he goes to the head thing, the mascot head so much. But
yeah, right. Gotta get those covered sometime. Last track to the future here, Sal. National championship pick. Obviously, the CFP has thrown some wrinkles into how you evaluate a team because last year we saw the teams that had buys. It actually hurt them in the end. So there's obviously a lot of factors that go into play with the CFP. But who do you like this year to win the national championship?
Yeah, there's so many qualified teams actually when you think about it. So I have to look, and even like you said, looking at the rankings with all the 4 bye teams, all 4 bye teams losing last year, that's not necessarily a great advantage. But I'm going to have Georgia beating Clemson in the finals. Georgia plus 650. I like the kid at quarterback. We saw him beat Texas last year. I think he's going to have just enough, and they're going to be loaded defensively, and that offensive line will be solid too. I would also, if you don't like, take Clemson too at plus 900. I think that'll be the game. It'll be close. We should go over the new playoff before you give your pick. I think it's all you. I'm sorry, give your pick and then we'll go over how this new playoff thing goes out. You're going Georgia also, aren't you?
Yeah, I was going to say this is boring. I'm going to take the Bulldogs as well. It's one of those things. Plus 650, I like the value. I think even if Georgia gets kind of, kicked in the SEC a little bit, I think that might be not the worst thing in the world. So even if they lose 2 games in the SEC, I think they find their way into the playoff just with the way that they kind of figure out the committee and how these teams get in and yada, yada, yada. So I think that Georgia at plus 650 is good value.
We should talk about who gets screwed the most under the new configuration. So a team like Boise, a team like Arizona State, whoever would win those conferences would probably get screwed because whereas they had a chance to get a bye last year, they're not going to be ranked in the top 4. And so they won't get a bye this year, right? It's the top 4 teams that get byes. That's how you go. Top 4 conference winners, I should say, get byes right there. But I think Notre Dame gets screwed the most here, right? Because they could pretty much at an 11-1 year or 10-2 count on a number 5 seed, go against a 12 seed, and then go against a lousy 4 seed who would have been, I say lousy, but it would have been like a team like Arizona State or Boise or something. That's no longer. I think they get the screwed the most out of this new system.
Yeah, and it's also going to make them double down, right, Sal? They're not going to join a conference. They're just like, look, we'll go out here, we'll go 11-1. You're going to have to put us in the playoff, and we'll figure it out from there. And last year, obviously, they carved a path, and Freeman had an incredible year. I think if you're Notre Dame this year, you're just trying your best to make sure these NFL teams stay away from him because obviously
That's true.
Bears called. A lot of teams have interest in him. So if you're Notre Dame, you're just like, please, God, stay with us.
Right.
Touchdown Jesus, do some prayers.
They do
up
talk
there.
to God a lot. Yeah, they should be able to get that done.
Every time they score a touchdown is from what I gather. That's fun. We got some track to the future, some line look aheads again. Week 1 is going to be a lot of fun in college football. If you're listening to us, we're going to take a quick break. But if you're watching us on YouTube, stay right there. We're going to keep this thing rolling. We got some over-under reactions, and we got our guy Anthony Dabbundo joining us.
Yeah, Dabbundo.
For these over-under reactions. Dabbundo, good to see you, man. Of course. Doing well, man. I enjoyed you yesterday breaking John Jastrzemski's brain as you were telling him why the 49ers were not going to be but so good this next year. So I'm excited to talk some college football with you. And if you don't know the game at home, I give you a declarative statement. I go to Sal and I ask if it's an over or under reaction. I'll go to Dabbundo, get his declaration as well, whether it's an over or under reaction. Let's start here with my guy, my head coach, Bill Belichick. I'll say this to you guys. I'll lob it up and Sal, get your reaction first. Bill Belichick will get married this fall. Over or under reaction? What say you, Sal?
I'm going to say under reaction.
Okay.
I think he will get married this fall, but to Sydney Sweeney. It's going to just blow the interview up. And then she's going to get him a discount on his first new pair of jeans since 1987. No, of course not. Of course he's not getting married this fall. He can't. The media would crush him. He's got to concentrate on getting to over 7.5 wins. Jordan, go away for a little while. We'll reconvene in January. What do you think, Dabbundo?
What does he gain from actually getting married?
Well, it's not about him. It's about the Hulu show. There's a lot of rumblings that the Hulu documentary is sort of like a, say yes to the dress, 90 Day Fiance kind of vibe going on there as well. So that would be sort of the sales pitch. But you think that's also an overreaction, right, Dabbundo?
Well, I feel like you need to weigh in here. You're the inside North Carolina guy.
I'm just a host. I'm just a humble host. What do I know?
Doesn't want to go on the record.
But yeah, Bill Belichick, win some football games this fall. Then we can talk about it next fall. I think that's
hold on. There. I mean, Dabbundo says, what does he gain by getting married? Maybe she's saving herself for the big day. You don't know. You don't know how this works, their relationship.
I'm going, he will not be getting married.
Okay.
I like it. Overreaction. Next up, the Big Ten will win the CFP for a 3rd straight season. Dabbundo, over or under reaction? What say you?
I have to say, living in Pennsylvania, Penn State fans are always like selling themselves on the idea, but they don't ever actually believe that they could win the championship. The Penn State fans in my life actually believe this year, and I actually believe that they believe that they could win it this year, which means they will not actually win it. I'm going to go with overreaction. Feels like SEC gets their turn this year.
I like the call. What say you, Sal?
I'm with Dabbundo. I think it's an overreaction. I think only 3 Big Ten teams get in. I mean, think about what had to happen for 4 to get in last year. Like Alabama had the 11th spot. So they were in the top 12 with 3 losses, and they just couldn't give it to them because Indiana was 11-1. Like that's not going to happen again. So this year, SEC gets 4, Big Ten gets 3. And you know what, Tate? Here's one for you. I know you don't like this because you picked them to win the Big Ten. Ohio State out, 3 losses. First one coming this week. That's it.
Okay.
I love it. Hot take there. Let's talk about their rival, Michigan. I say to you guys, Michigan will have a new head coach by the start of next season. Sal, over or under reaction?
I'm going to say overreaction. Sharon Moore, I think he sticks around. Although technically there is a new coach right now, right? He's suspended for 3 games. So
yes.
Listen, this guy can go 1-11 and beat Ohio State and he still hold his job. So that's the key there. I think he's back in 2026.
I like it. What about you, Dabbundo?
With a true freshman quarterback, I feel like that buys him a year. So I'll say overreaction.
Yeah, there you go. Bryce Underwood will be there, and I think you're right about that. Next up, Alabama will not make the college football playoff this season. Dabbundo, over or under reaction?
I can't stop thinking about that guy that calls into Feinbaum and says, Alabama will not lose, does not lose to Vandy. I can't imagine them missing it again. I like DeBoer. Like DeBoer, prior to last season, if you just pulled up his football reference page, random schools you've never heard of, the guy just won everywhere he's ever gone. And so I'm willing to give him a pass for one bad season. I think they bounce back this year. I mean, like the recruiting numbers for them have always remained at the top of the sport. It's not like the recruiting has dipped in the Saban worlds or the post Saban world. So I'm going to stick with, I'll say overreaction. They make the playoff.
I like it. What about you, Sal?
Yeah, overreaction. Like I said, they had 3 losses last year. We're still in the top 12. They're going to look for a way to put them in this year. They returned 15 starters. Keep in mind, not only did DeBoer have to replace Saban, but more than 30 players from the 2023 team left the program. I think they'll have just enough. I like that quarterback, I like their spunk. I think they make it.
Yeah, he couldn't bring everybody from Washington. Steve Belichick had to get some of his guys, too. Next up, Carson Beck will be the number 1 pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Sal, over or under reaction? This is what his offensive coordinator said.
Jeez, I think this is you're going out on a limb here. You can get 40-1 for this, by the way. If you go to the NFL tab in FanDuel, the bet page there, 40-1 that Beck goes first. Nussmeier's the favorite at plus 370. I'm going to go overreaction. I don't love Miami this year. They have a tough schedule. They have a suspect defense. And Carson Beck doesn't really do it for me. I think he's getting $4 million for, what is it? Like Kane something? I don't know. He should just try to find more eligibility. I don't think he's going to be top 3 quarterbacks available come April. I'll take Klubnik for now.
What about you, Dabbundo?
He's probably more likely to be getting LinkedIn jokes by like week 8.
Right.
Like, draft day was on yesterday and my friend and I were watching it and like how many people went to his birthday party. I don't know. I'll still, like, I know Arch Manning, like the Mannings have tried to say that Arch isn't coming out. I know we're about to get to Arch. I'll still buy like Arch Manning stock if people are selling it for the next draft.
I like it. You mentioned him. Arch Manning, Sal, will be the Cowboys' successor to Dak Prescott. Over or under reaction? I come to you because you're our Cowboys connoisseur.
Yeah. I get it. I'm going to say overreaction. He won't immediately succeed, Dak. There'll be a half a dozen quarterbacks in between, but I think the Cowboys will sign Arch Manning in 2040. He'll be like 37 years old, and it'll be like a nostalgic Texas-sized pick. He should start holding out now. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Perfect.
That's it. Yeah.
What about you, Dabbundo?
There is a world brewing where we end up with the Saints, Giants, and Colts as like 3 of the worst teams in the NFL this year. And if you think about Archie Manning, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, it would be kind of funny if those were the 3 teams in the Arch sweepstakes. I don't know, like that. The Cowboys are too good to get. They're too good, in air quotes, to get a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
They're not bad enough.
It is true. If they go 7-10, which they probably will, that puts them right in the crap area where they'll make a bad pick. Yeah.
Yeah, and it does feel like Archie is trying to make sure that the Saints do not get, his grandson to go there. Right. So like there's a level of that too. This is a fun one in college football from week 0. Dabbundo, I'll go to you here. Big Citrus is the best nickname in college football. Over or under reaction?
I feel like it takes time for the best nicknames of the year to like slowly emerge. Like I haven't immersed myself enough in all of the nicknames. So I will say right now, yes, but I feel like we could probably do better.
Yeah, proper reaction. I like that. What about you, Sal?
I'm going to say underreaction. Yes, I
Mm.
think he's got the title in week 0, and it has to be taken from him. I mean, it's Big Citrus sounds like one of the Costco guys' buddies. Big Justice has like an obese friend that dresses like a lime. By the way, his name is Dominic Orange. He should have played for your alma mater, Syracuse, Dabbundo. That would have made
Unbelievable.
it.
We got the
Dominic
Orange Bowl this weekend.
Of course, yeah. Rocky Mountain College battling Bears have a player named Indiana Jones, so that's pretty great too.
Yeah, you mentioned Squirrel earlier. There's just so many good
Squirrel
names
went,
in
yep.
college football. I mean, Storm Duck was one of my favorite from the past few years. Always good. Last one here. The government needs to get involved in the potential blackout of Fox on YouTube TV. Over or under reaction, Sal? This is a big deal. You might not be able to see Big Noon Kickoff if you're a YouTube TV person.
Tate, I'm going to say underreaction, but I'm going to hand it back to you. I mean, you're especially riled up about this. I'm stupid. I still have DirecTV and everything else just in case something ridiculous like this happens. But yeah, for all the things Trump gets involved in, paper straws, windmills, yeah, let's get Fox on YouTube, for God's sakes.
Yeah, let's make this happen. Dabbundo, you YouTube TV guy?
I just became a YouTube TV guy.
Oh,
Might
man,
be the
right on
worst
time.
timing. Might be the worst timing of all time, because I just saw this yesterday, and to be honest, was cable that bad?
Right.
No.
We just
Right?
there was
Like,
we were
is
talking
cable
about
just gonna come back again. Like, I'm seeing all the streamers are bundling now. Like I'm getting a Verizon home router, and they're like, we'll give you free Apple TV and Hulu and HBO Max for another $8 a month. And I'm thinking, like, aren't you just selling me cable? Like, what's going on? So what happened to cable? Man, it wasn't that bad.
YouTube's the only stream that you should have, right?
Yeah.
Does it even count as a stream? I don't know.
Yeah, right. We're streaming right now on YouTube, and YouTube TV. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please go fix this, because we need to watch Arch Manning playing in Columbus, Ohio. So that needs to happen. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we got more at Dabbundo. We're gonna talk Syracuse football a little bit, and just some more fun stuff that's happening, around the world of sports. We'll be right back. And if you're on YouTube, just stay with us, and we'll keep it rolling here. Dabbundo, you mentioned it. Syracuse, Tennessee, the Affleck kickoff happening in Atlanta. Tennessee minus 13.5 for this game. The line 50.5. What do you like, and what are you looking for in this one?
We're ready for Angeli Mania in Syracuse. I mean, year 2 of Fran Brown. The vibes could not be higher. And if you just don't look at the schedule of opponents that they have to play this year,
such a
you
tough
would feel
schedule.
so good about the state of the program. I mean, Fran, a perfect hire for a program like Syracuse, comes in, brings the juice. Talking to people on campus about how Fran has really pushed the administration to give them more funding. Like, hey, this needs to be a priority. And with the state of the ACC right now and the state of the basketball program, the administration has kind of pushed and given him what he's wanted. So it's been exciting. Last year was so much fun with Kyle McCord. It's just like, can they do it again? Like, what are the odds that they just replenish the whole offense and this works? I don't know. The betting market doesn't seem too confident, because their win total's 5.5. And this game, the total was 54.5. And since they named Angeli the starter, the total's dropped 4 points. So somebody's betting the under like they know the final score. That's a little scary to me. But the line has not moved. So if it's 14, Tennessee, kind of like a rhythm offense, maybe it takes them some time to get going. I have no idea. But if it's at 14, I'm going to be betting the orange.
Yeah, I like that call. Sal, who do you like in that game? Do you believe the Bundos?
You know what's scary? Your guy's name is Fran. My mother's name is Fran, and she doesn't know a hash mark from a hash brown. So that's a first start. I don't know. So I don't like either team much this year. I'll take the 13.5. I'll probably buy it to 14 because I have money. It's the beginning of the year. I have money. By week 4, I won't have any money to buy points or anything. But the bundle, you got to replace McCord. One of the nation's leading passers, 1,000-yard rusher, and Quinn Allen, 1,000-yard receiver, and Meeks. Replace tackles leader, this guy Barron. I'm reading all these names. He was 7-2 in 1-score games, right? How much can that keep up? I'm going to go under 5.5 to Bundo. Sorry, you're going to have to drown your sorrows at Shifty's. Or is that the good wing place over there? There's a few great places.
Shifty's might be before my time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
think it's after.
Shifties.
I looked it up last night. It's still going. Yeah.
I will say, I think that, now that we have guys that are playing 8 years, you mentioned Cam Rising earlier, Sal, guys that are playing 8, 9 years in college football. Let's get rid of the term limits. Like Kyle McCord, you got cut by the Eagles. Come back and play quarterback for the Syracuse Orange. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we need. We need that sort of connection, right? If Quinn Ewers can't play for the Dolphins, go back and play for North Carolina and Bill Belichick, right? Like,
interesting.
Let's figure it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Tate,
why are we being dumb?
Have you been following the Rasul Fajan thing, the South Carolina kid that got the waiver?
Yeah, right. And then
he is so old that I broadcasted high school games. My high school played his high school. We were in high school at the same time, and he's still in. I'm 26. He's still in college.
Yeah. Kentucky's quarterback. He's in his 9th year. He was there for Joe Burrow winning the Heisman and all this sort of stuff. I mean, with all this sort of, kind of blurred lines, let's just go ahead and get rid of the lines and let's let these guys play college football for as long as they want. Speaking of football, I got to ask you, Dabbundo, you mentioned it, the basketball program. I mean, I love Red. Red Autry's my guy. But, a little bit different since Boeheim left. So I have to ask, is Syracuse a football school now?
It's funny you said I love Red, and then there was going to be a but there, and that's kind of how everybody feels about him right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love Red, but the team's been pretty diabolically bad for a couple years now. I think for the newer generation, yes, I still think there's so much history of Syracuse basketball that if you meet somebody over 30, they will reminisce on the great days of Syracuse basketball. But because football is more popular nationally now, and because so many people who are in, around my age or anybody younger than me doesn't really remember great Syracuse basketball teams anymore. Like the old Big East is like not a thing if you're 26 or younger. I think amongst that generation, football has definitely become the dominant force at the school. Especially, Fran helps that, right? They win 10 games in his first year, but yeah, it's not a great sign as somebody who has, grew up loving Syracuse basketball because they always used to pull all the Philly kids. But it's trending that way, and I don't think with the way the money works that it's going to be a great long-term thing for Syracuse basketball if football is taking more of the money.
Yeah, the last moment, right, was kind of the 2016 Final Four run, and that was almost more of a blip than it was like an expectation. So, I mean, and that was 9 years ago, going on a decade. So that is, it's very fascinating to kind of see how those things change pretty quickly.
Boeheim's such a sweetheart of a guy, and his assistants are salt of the earth. People can't ever forget that. Dabbundo, Syracuse is a lacrosse school. That's how you got to treat.
We're actually a men's soccer school.
There you go.
2022 national champions. Shout out to Ian McIntyre. Yeah.
So basketball might be like 4th or 5th now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I tell everybody. Carolina is a women's soccer school. That's the easiest way to put it. Then it gets people off your back. Shout out to
Damon Ahas.
Yeah,
Damon
right.
Ahas,
yeah,
my boy.
The Sicoli guys. They love him. That's their guy. Next up, Dabbundo, I got to ask you this. The ACC, they're on the clock right now. They had their compromise, which basically said that their, grant of rights or whatever is going to be unconstitutional if it ever goes to the courts. So now there was an open door for teams like, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, Syracuse, right?
I don't think we're getting that call, Tate.
Yeah. Is the ACC the next power conference to be quote unquote relegated? And when does it happen in your estimation?
4 years?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's such a non-rev powerhouse, but that doesn't mean anything anymore. So, they already have Stanford and SMU, Cal. I mean, it's not even the ACC anymore.
Yeah, it should
just be the Coastal Conference.
That's what I was, a coastal conference, the ACC, you know what I mean? Any coast conference, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah. We're all over the place, but
I would say over 3.5 years, I would jump. I think 4 is pretty good. I can't believe though Dabo and Belichick and Jordan Hudson can't put their minds together and save this thing.
Yeah, you got Coach K and Rick Pitino trying to come together, pitch the Big East and the ACC doing some sort of merger for basketball. But again, probably won't move the needle. And the fact that, North Carolina is flirting with the SEC, kind of says that the writing is on the wall a little bit. Now we get to have some fun here because both you guys are on opposite sides of the line. So I'll start with you, Sal. What's the best way to determine which sport gets to use the term football?
Wow.
This is a tough one.
I do think this needs to be established once and for all because I don't like it. Throws me off when people say, I'll Google football players like handsome football. Well, I'm not Googling handsome football, but whatever.
Wait a second. What?
Oh, geez. Oh, my God. No, but whatever. And then I'll go right to soccer. But I don't know. Is there a cinnamon challenge? Is that the way to do it? How about we do this? Brandon Aubrey against, you pick your guy, Dabbundo. Maybe it's a goalie or Harry Kane. Whoever kicks the longest field goal, pay-per-view event, one kick, winner takes name. What do you think?
I like that.
Harry Kane always did say that he would want to play for the Patriots in his post-soccer career. It is tricky. It is tricky. I struggle with this because like I'll go to London and I'll talk to people and I have to like code switch. I code switch a lot, back and forth, depending on what room I'm in too. Even in America. I'll tell you what, we'll do it like the census. We'll do a world census. And we'll take a poll.
No.
And we'll see who wins.
No,
I think the world
world.
census, would be tough for the American football fans.
Yeah, the world sucks. Yeah, we don't want that.
No census. We need a pay-per-view kickoff. Harry Kane versus Brandon Aubrey. I'm in. Sign me up.
Come to your census with the census stuff. Enough.
I have heard though. Rudy told me that you're a Liverpool fan now.
I do. I did have the red Liverpool shirt on the other day when we tested this craziness, but yeah, I guess so. I mean, is that a good choice?
Did you tell Simmons? Because he's not very happy with Liverpool right now.
Oh, I know. Oh, right. Yeah, because the ownership things. Well, he could step up and buy any of these teams anytime. Make a difference.
Make the change you want to see in the world, and hopefully we figure out this football thing. I played soccer my whole life. I have a hard time calling it football because I think of football. But again, it is what it is. We'll figure it out. Last one, Dabbundo. Should Anthony Richardson, we talked about it a little bit earlier, be allowed to go back and play college football? Is this a good move? I know Lagway's at Florida, so they don't need him. But should he go somewhere else and play?
I don't understand. I feel like I'm taking the crazy pills with this Anthony Richardson stuff. Like the way people talk about him, he's like got leprosy. And the Colts are like the worst team ever created. I mean, they were a 500 team last year. They were above 500 when he started games. And like, yeah, it wasn't pretty, but they ran it well. They had explosives. Like I feel like, and look, I don't trust Shane Steichen anymore. I could do 20 minutes on the Colts, on Anthony Richardson, on everything that doesn't make any sense about what's going on with the decision making.
Just do 12 minutes because we're running short.
We got 12 minutes? All right. Where do I start? Did you see that one pass he threw? Pretty good.
What? Richardson? Yeah. I mean, he's got some arm talent. That's for sure.
The highlight tape is amazing. And all of my joy has been sucked out of the season. I was so excited for week 1. I got this bet with JJ that I talked about yesterday. We got the steak dinner. And
meanwhile, it's a toss-up, that game still, like with all the craziness that's going on.
They might be the 2 worst vibe teams in the league. But yeah, Richardson, he probably should have spent another year in college developing. I think that's a fair point. But for him, hey, if he's getting mocked in the top 10, how do you not go take a chance?
I mean, what did he play? 13? He had 13 games, right? And we're seeing the Bo Nixes and the Dylan Gabriels of the world. And everyone's got between 40 and 60 starts. It's a big difference. Like I know there's examples of guys who've come on in 15, 16 starts and done well. But these guys coming in the league now that are 2 years older, I feel like he should be allowed to go back. Tate, you talked about this with Quinn Ewers and guys being able to go back to their college if they're cut. But which level, like how far back does he have to go? Like middle school? Like what level is it acceptable to take yourself out of a game? Because that's where I feel like he sealed his fate. Did
you see the video of Riley Leonard making fun of him on the sideline? It was pretty funny.
I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Riley Leonard did the helmet tap in front of Richardson and they were like messing around with him about it. I think that's a good sign for what it's worth.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. They've moved past it as a team. Like the team obviously doesn't hold it against him.
Also, it was far worse when the Bears took Mitch Trubisky, number 2, before Pat Mahomes, and he had only started 11 games in college, right? I mean, like we've seen worse versions of this, and everyone acts like Anthony Richardson's the first time we've ever seen something so egregious. Like I think we've seen worse. So even back then it was before Deshaun Watson, who just won a national championship, right? So I mean that move by the Bears, and I still feel like it's worse than what the Colts did. So we'll give them a little bit of a break.
The alternative option for the Colts at 4, if they wanted to take a quarterback, was Will Levis.
Right. Which this guy eats mayonnaise. Like, come on.
That's true.
And as bad as Richardson has been at times,
he
has not done anything to the level of Levis on a football field.
Yeah. The alternative was to never let Andrew Luck leave. I mean, just beg and beg and beg.
Lock him in a room.
And Andrew Luck wants to play football. Like if you watch the Hawaii-Stanford game, he's like throwing the ball around on the sideline and stuff. I'm like, this guy, he knows he made a mistake. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to show he was an author or whatever it was, but like now he's a GM and he wishes he was out there playing football. So Colts, maybe they should give him a call. We got Tuesday night best bets. Sal, what do you got on the board? We can go any which way. We got the U.S. Open. We got baseball. We got all types of stuff on the docket. What do you like tonight?
Well, I hate to say this, Tate, but your Yankees are back on track. They really are. I mean, they crushed the Red Sox.
I can't even say my Yankees anymore. You know what I mean? I'm so far removed. I'm just like, you
can take them. Beat up on the Red Sox and beat up on the Nats last night. The Nats are a team that'll get you back on track there. If you give the run and a half tonight, they're plus 108. Luis Gil, 4 earned runs in his last 16 innings. That's 3 starts. Very solid. He's going to do this at home, I think. They tried so desperately, the Yankees, to hold on to this wild card spot. Luis Gil was up there for Rookie of the Year last year. I had him. But you can go minus 2.5, pays about 2-1. But I'm going to go minus 1.5. Just when they get to the Fire Boone territory, they start winning. And not going to happen yet. Yankees minus a 1.5.
I like it. Plus 108. Dabbundo, what do you like?
Oh, we got a big series in Flushing.
Yeah, baby.
Mets took game 1.
Someone tell the Phillies.
They were cheating last night. They had a distraction in the batter's eye, which Alec Boehm called out. I kid, of course, but
yeah, sure.
I like the Phillies tonight. Sean Manaea, a classic homer pick. Sean Manaea has come back from injury and he's throwing this 2-pitch mix now. He's kind of become a weirdly limited pitcher since coming back. I don't know why it is. I think it's interesting that he's choosing to highlight one of his worst pitches consistently, and he's been a disaster. Since coming back. First 3 innings he looks okay, and then he runs out of gas, and by the 4th inning he's getting roughed up. So I don't have a ton of faith in the Mets middle relief. I don't have a ton of faith in Manaea. And Jesus Luzardo had 3 or 4 awful starts when he was tipping pitches. He was struggling with some delivery stuff from the stretch, but he's got one of the best expected ERAs and best strikeout rates amongst any pitcher in sport. So I like the Phils tonight to get back on track. I think the Mets probably win Wednesday. You guys can have your 2 out of 3. You're fighting for that playoff spot. That's fine.
No,
but I think
we barely fight. I wouldn't call it a fight. Aren't you going tonight? Didn't you say you're going Tuesday?
I am going tonight.
Oh, you buried the lead. All right, what are you going to eat? Let's talk turkey here. I wouldn't eat turkey, but what are you going to eat there?
I'm going to be honest. I'm doing the U.S. Open first.
Okay.
I might grab dinner at the Open and then walk over. I feel like the food options.
Dinner at the Open. Why? That's all. What is that? That's all Tavern on the Green bullshit. You know?
No, they got great options. I had a pastrami sandwich yesterday. It was excellent.
Oh, really?
It wasn't turkey. It's pastrami. Field, huh? Yeah.
It was a Carnegie Deli pastrami sandwich for lunch. Yeah, yesterday at the Open.
Okay.
And then today, we'll see. I don't know. They have the Mexican place is not great. They have a taco place. It's just okay. There's
40 options at Citi Field. You can get your Zeppelis, you get that pastrami sandwich. I don't think it's from Carnegie, but what else did I have? I can't remember. It was a crazy pulled pork nacho thing. I'm stretching here, Tate.
Yeah, no, I like it.
I'm also salivating.
We're gonna need some stretching after eating all that food, all that pastrami. I like the double, back-to-back U.S. Open to the Mets game. That's a strong move.
There was a bunch of fans yesterday in Mets and Phillies jerseys at the Open. I'm assuming they were then doing the same thing, kind of walking across the bridge. It's a rare opportunity. As soon as the schedule came out last year, I was looking at it and I'm like, wait, that's the first week of the U.S. Open. And I was like, I have to do this. So
are the Philly fans allowed at a tennis match? That is not a good match. Did someone hold Carlos Alcaraz down and shave his head? That was a Philly?
It does look
right?
like that. Yeah.
We hired his brother as an industry plant to give him a buzz cut.
I don't understand that move at all. That was one of the craziest things. I was watching the highlights of his match, and they were like Alcaraz up here, and I was like, "Where is he?" And then I realized it was the guy that looked like like he'd been locked up for 3 months or something.
And he was wearing purple. He looked like a super villain. It was very strange. It's going to take a minute to get used to.
I guess he's trying to be a little bit off the beaten path. And if you think about all the great tennis stars, they all had a weird hairdo phase at one point. I mean, even Agassi, he had the wig on that he had glued on at one point to kind of keep the image up or whatever. So they've all had their weird stretch of hair, so maybe this is Alcaraz's move, but still find it very strange. My best bet for tonight, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his name properly. Dabbundo, you correct me if I'm wrong. Tomljanovic.
You butchered it.
Yeah, go for it. How do I say it?
Ilya Tomljanovic.
Tomjanovic. There you go. Close enough. Yeah, close enough. To win at least one set against Coco Gauff, plus 250. I just feel like Coco's going to lose one set. A lot of eyeballs on her. Maybe you get a little bit loose in the second after you win the first. She loses one. Plus 250 is a number where I feel like it's reasonable. You can maybe make some money on that. So I'll take her to win at least one set against Coco. But of course, we're pulling for Coco at the U.S. Open.
I actually saw her practice on Sunday.
Nice. How'd she look? Good?
If she plays like she practiced, you're going to win your bet.
Okay.
Really? It was rough. She was not happy about it. The serve, she just fired her coach. She has a new coach that she's trying to fix her serve mechanics on the fly. Oof. And it's not going well. I mean, the serve was really rough in the practice. Again, it's practice. She's in like a corner of the court playing against another player. Her coaches are trying to help her out through stuff, but she was not happy. And
give us a winner. Give us an exacta here, Dabbundo. Coco's 11-1. The favorites via Tech at plus 210, and on the men's side at Sinner, just a little better than even, plus 105.
Mm-hmm.
Iga Swiatek should win the women's. I bet her plus 250. I still like her 2-1 or better. The men's is kind of boring these days, so you kind of got to get creative. You could do a quarter parlay. So pick all 4 semifinalists: Zverev, Fritz, Sinner, Alcaraz. I saw 20-1 pre-tournament. I'm guessing it's a little less than that now, but that would be
that's hard. Yeah,
that would be the prediction.
That is tough. No upsets.
It is such a chalky men's field right now, because the second tier of guys are just all a mess for various.
You said Fritz then, so Fritz is the underdog in that third semi, right? Yes. That's the Djokovic bracket.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The Djokovic. Did you see his? I showed my wife. She was asking too many questions about him. I'm like, all right, I'm going to shut her up here. I showed the blisters on his feet, and she went right to sleep. She went to the bathroom to throw up first. Then went to sleep. Yeah.
Well, how does he have blisters if he hasn't played tennis? He hasn't played a tennis match since Wimbledon.
Yeah, what is he up to?
We should short him, right? Because those were crazy. It looked like he had 3 extra toes. He's not going to go another 5 matches. Right?
I think he's in. I think he doesn't have the stamina to do the full 2 weeks anymore.
Yeah.
I think that showed at Wimbledon. But he's also not match fit, right? It's like he needs to find the balance of playing enough to be in great shape, but also not playing too much to be completely cooked. And I don't know that he has that anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I saw Sinner. They showed him like his warm up, and he looked like an absolute assassin. So I'm just gonna back Sinner. He seems like he's absolutely locked in. They're like, I've never seen a guy like try to dominate his practice warm up guys like this. So it's classic Yannick Sinner. Dabbundo, Sal, you guys are the best.
Tate, do we want to give one more bonus college pick before we sign off here? I don't want to rip the people off 2 minutes there.
One more college pick.
I see on FanDuel, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Boise each to make the playoff, plus 1,700. That's pretty good. So now you're really just banking on Boise to win that conference, which I already said I don't like, but 17-1 for those 5. I'm just trying to pick out some a couple here.
I like that. I wish I could bet ECU, NC State to have a fight in week 1. They do not have that prop up on FanDuel right now, but if they could get that prop up there, I would take that at any number.
It's FanDuel Futures Day. What are we doing here?
That's right.
Why don't we have that one up? The last 2 times they've played, it has ended in a fight, and they have the season opener. So I would take that if I could. I think that would be a fun one.
Out of these 6 to go undefeated, they're all around plus 450, plus 600. Penn State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas. Penn State's the favorite.
Yeah.
Penn State is they have the easiest schedule, right? They play Oregon at home, and
it's kind of worked out for them. Yeah, this whole thing. Yeah, they do. Clemson also has a fairly easy schedule.
They got an tough opener with Villanova.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
It's just so hard for me to believe James Franklin can just go undefeated.
But the thing is, you say that about every coach until they do win. That's true. That's the one. Like people said, Ryan Day couldn't win the big game.
Yeah, I mean Villanova, Jay Wright, right? It was like Jay Wright can't win.
Can't win the big game. Then
eventually, he wins 2 out of 3. Yeah. Eventually, you break through. You're right. I think that's a good note, right? That's a nice positive spin forward for everybody out there. Anything is possible. Anybody can get over the hump.
I did not think I'd be coming on this pod to defend James Franklin. That was
not
on my
list. I knew we could get him to do it. I knew it, Tate. I said if we get to 10 o'clock or 1 p.m. Eastern, we can get Dabbundo to break on the James Franklin thing.
I love it. I love it. We got there. Well, this is the Ringer Gambling Show. This has been a lot of fun. We will be doing this live Tuesdays. Dabbundo, we appreciate you coming on the show. You're crushing it on the Ringer Gambling Show. You can hear him multiple times on this feed. You can hear Sal as well multiple times on this feed. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will see you guys later in the week.